We are faced with this very difficult crossroads, a budget issue, which we know is critical to the future, not right now, of the children in our care. But at the same time, we are looking at our profession being under attack. And these two things are coming together simultaneously. Right now in education, we are running in place, and sometimes, I believe, moving backwards. To many of the people who run our school systems, they have become captive to trends that have never proven to work. In the most extreme cases, they have turned our school system into test prep factories. The so-called reformers can't even get their story straight. On one hand, they hold up teachers as central to everything. At times, they say even more important than the parents, which I do not believe. Yet on the other hand, the very same reformers want to create a, quote, teacher-proof system. A system where all a teacher is to do is to keep pushing the test prep button over and over again, never developing the teacher, never supporting them, never encouraging them to remain in the profession, and in the end, it is the children who will be harmed. So it doesn't come as a surprise that this confusing and counterproductive strategy is not working. It is no surprise that the achievement gap is not closing, or that the students aren't better prepared for college or for living a life, a successful life that we want for all of them. The talents of the educators in this city and all across the country are being vastly underutilized. Clearly, it's time for a new direction. And this union for 50 years has been the leader in shaping the debate on education in this country. And we must continue to stand up and fill this role now more than ever. We must be the leaders, just as we have always been. Right now, here's how education works. Step one, give the students a test. Step two, if the student doesn't do well, blame the teacher and close the school. Step three, open a new school, rinse and repeat. We need to stop this madness. We need to approach how our schools are managed and supported in the same way that a teacher approaches a classroom. I know we'd all love an easy solution to the problem our students face, but some of the issues that come into play when a school is struggling are complicated. And to identify these obstacles, to say them out loud, is not an excuse. It is merely the first step in working to overcome the obstacles. As teachers, we know there is no boilerplate solution. How many times have we all had what we thought was the perfect lesson? But you know already where I'm going. We thought we had the perfect lesson. We're delivering it exactly the way we planned. And in the middle of the lesson, we realize it's not working. We don't give up. We don't continue to deliver the lesson that we know is not working. We use our skills that we know how to do. We begin to change right there as we're delivering the lesson to see what the effect will be and if students will engage. This is what we do every day, and that's how we need to manage our schools. Just as a teacher in a classroom changes, the school system needs to be able to identify each school's strengths and weaknesses and to then determine what supports we can put in place so that we emphasize the strengths and we remove the weaknesses as obstacles. And what we need to do is be ready to change what we're doing and how we're doing it, because our children are always changing. And what we need to do is adapt to their needs. And I am sure we're ready to do this. And for our students, it means paying attention to the factors in their lives outside of the classroom that affect their performance inside of the classroom. 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 inside of the class And it also means encouraging collaboration, not competition, among educators in a school or between schools. And if a school is struggling, we need to figure out why and design a plan for success and provide the support necessary to implement. That's what communities do for families in need. That's what teachers do for students who are struggling. And that's what the Department of Education needs to do for all schools. And that is precisely why we, along with our Dewey Award recipients, the NAACP, and many others, filed suit to stop the Department of Ed from closing 19 schools. We believe, and the judge agreed, that the Department of Ed had broke the law when they closed the schools. We knew why many of these schools were struggling, yet nothing was done to help them. At PS 332 in Brooklyn, hey PS 332, the population of homeless children tripled last year to nearly 1 in every 5 students. No surprise, the school was struggling. Nothing was done to help PS 332, and it was slated for closure. That is unacceptable to all of us. Now, I'm not up here saying that there is never a time when a school should be closed. If a school can't succeed, even after interventions have been tried, closing may be what has to be done. But a policy of systematically shuffling our most vulnerable students from school to school in search of some magic solution just does not work for anyone. Instead, let's bring together the best ideas, the ideas I hear from you, based on your experiences. Let's work to identify the obstacles that struggling schools are facing and overcome them before considering closing. Because that is a strategy that will undoubtedly help more children. So let's stop pretending that the conditions in students' lives that hamper their learning are things we can ignore. Let's build a foundation of success, a model that we can share with other struggling schools, and finally begin to close the achievement gap that has plagued this system and our country for far too long.